My birth of my second son in 2007, ironically he was diagnosed with a brain tumour, 5 months old, and it redefined me as a person, and it redefined my family and just how we behaved as a family. We were two years in the cancer journey with my son Ross, battling against the tumour that he had with chemotherapy, etc. We had a lot of isolation in the hospital, and my whole family unit pretty much crashed. I met my wife on the doorway of the hospital. We had no communication. Or my other son Ruben, the oldest, got run over practically in the whole process of trying to save Ross's life. And 2 years into that journey, I decided, having seen and got educated in all the cracks and defaults and the struggles, and that I knew I needed to plug into that somewhere and try and put something back into that system and try and help people who was obviously coming behind me, and that queue is long queue. So in 2009, the World Ultramarathon Series came to Ireland, and the country was designated a round of that championship, and it was a race around Ireland. And I entered the race primarily as a fundraising race, an awareness thing for the charity, and I had no real aspirations of the race. I was out for 10 years, hadn't done a lot of training. I was up against the best guys in the world that do this, and that race had the world champion competing. And the story of the race was that the race ended up that it was the world champion and myself, and eventually I won the race, it then became a sporting story, and it plummeted me into this world of ultramarathon racing, because I continued in it then, and I continued to use the events as fundraising events and so on and so forth. There was also a qualifier for the Race Across America. In 2012 I came to Race Across America, and I got to Colorado, and I suffered altitude sickness in the Rockies, and I had to retire. And it was a big deflation, because I probably had got on this wave that I was riding, and I wasn't really prepared for a failure. And I've gone away and I've spent 2 years, and I've tried to fix the mistakes that I made in 2012, and we've managed to get the sponsorship with the help of so many people in the United States. And back home in Ireland, especially corporate companies, CEOs who've put their pounds where it needed to be. And we're living in a world that's economically crashed at the moment. So I have a lot of respect, and I owe a lot of debt of gratitude to those people for seeing the value in what we're doing, the value that we can bring to them as companies, and obviously the value that we can bring to the families who we ultimately do the fundraising for. So I think it'll create a great legacy for the team. There's two clear aspects of what we're doing. Obviously we're here to ride the Race Across America, as it's probably the primarily world ultramarathon race there is. And secondly, I'm here to try and generate awareness and do some fundraising for my charity. My goal is very simple. The education of 2012 told me all I need to do in RAAM is to finish. That's all I need to do. It really doesn't matter in RAAM whether you win or you finish. It's viewed exactly the same. However, finishing is what it's all about. So I don't care what I have to do. I don't care how slow I have to go or how fast I have to go. Hopefully it has to be slow to get to the finish, but that's my objective.
If you have to give yourself one piece of advice, what would it be?
Take one day at a time. Don't panic. Make it up whenever it falls apart. And more importantly, believe.
How important is your crew?
I can't do it without them. It's impossible. It's emotional for me.
How do you think you'll feel whenever you reach the end?
Relieved, but I want the team to. I want the team to be successful. Success is finishing. Everyone has worked incredibly hard. I believe that this team is one of the few teams I think that's actually cutting a new trough for this sport, because not because it's my team, but because the dynamics that's in it is pointing the whole mechanism in a different direction. We even have the race organisation admiring the approach that we're taking to it, from a team point of view, from a media exposure point of view, creating the awareness and how we're interacting and dovetailing corporate and the charity, the race, and this whole dynamic together. It's very, very difficult to do. We've got a small team. They're very dedicated. Every person's got like 10 jobs. Everyone is doing 20-hour days. Everyone's extremely tired, and now we've got to start. So, it's not this race is not easy.
Do you think you would be relieved to get on the bike today?
Yeah, for sure. It's been stressful. They tell you in RAAM, the hardest part of it is getting to the start line, and that is an absolute. This is very logistically taxing. It's expensive. You're using the energy of all your crew, and you're making them tired to achieve this goal, and that you have to do that just to get to the start. We start at 1:15 local time, and we'll get to midnight, and then we'll make a new plan.
Eat the elephant one part at a time?
Slice it up and eat it slow.